Hi everyone, I'm Soraya Rhea and I am going to do a review on 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. So I recently just decided to start doing reviews of 90 Day because I love the show. And I decided to start with the new series spinoff, 90 Day the Other Way. But then I'm like, you know what? I have too much to say about my regular 90 Day folks. Colty, Larissa, Pedro and Chantal, Libby and Andre, So I'm like, even though it's mid-season, I want to get in on the game. So what's going on? Let's start with Colty y Larissa. Okay, so, well, actually, is that how you say and in Portuguese? E? Anyway. So what's going on? So Debbie and Larissa are feuding. No surprise there. Debbie is upset because Larissa wanted to move her slot machine. And Debbie's really upset, particularly because the slot machine was given to her by her late husband. So it means something to her. And, she thinks that Larissa just wants her out of the house, which is probably true. But so they're feuding and Colty is trying to mediate, and he's doing a bad job of it because he's like kind of talking about both sides of his mouth, in my opinion, but at the same time he's like kind of being selfish and just, I don't know, weird, as he always is. Larissa is pissed though. She's walking around the house with her shorts and her sports bra, and she is calling Colt a pussy. Ugh. And she just keeps saying it. Like, that was a major part of their segment. She just kept saying, pussy, 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 you're a pussy, you're a pussy. Oh, and back up. I understand the difficulty in second language learning. I'm a second language learner myself. Took Spanish in high school as well. And, so I understand even how I sound, in other languages. But, I personally say, hey, correct me when I'm saying something wrong. If I'm pronouncing something wrong, please let me know. So Larissa, please stop pronouncing silent E's. Please, okay? And then stop putting E's where they don't belong. Homie, bikausi, and then putting E's where they don't belong. Shut up-y, like, first of all, with the shut up, like, that just takes away from the authority of the command, like, just say shut up, just say that. But shut up, no, stop, please, okay? I don't know. Did anyone ever tell? I don't know. So, but other than that, we understand you. But I have a speech path background, and I love phonetics and phonemics and artic and all that stuff. So it's just, it's me. I know. But yes, please, silent E's. No, okay? But, okay, so Larissa is calling Colt a pussy because she said he's not standing up for her, he's not supporting her, which is true. She's like, I'm the wife, and she's like, you should be standing behind me and supporting me, and with this dispute that I keep having with your mom, please, like, stand up for me. And he doesn't, and he just kind of responds with the with this low voice, like, you just need to stop, you just need to, with both of them. It's kind of ridiculous. But now the thing though, Larissa, with you calling him a pussy so many times and then saying, like, I'm going to make a shirt that says my husband is a pussy, but then you're wearing the shirt, boo, okay? Like, and then if that's your husband, then that means that you married the pussy. I mean, what? That doesn't shed good light on you, unless are you saying I made the biggest mistake and married this, Anyway, so, okay, also, like, with her, like, calling him a pussy so many times, it just reminded me of, like, last week's episode, I think, when they went to the sex therapist, and Colt was, complaining about the lack of their sex life, and apparently it was just, like, this month time span, apparently, that they had not been having sex, and he was like, so don't have children, Colt. Like, don't ever have a child, because clearly you say you can't wait a month. But and the fact that he was even going to a therapist to figure out what's wrong with their sex life. It's like, oh, you mean during the month, like after you called the cops on your wife and she was awaiting trial, you're wondering why you guys weren't having sex? Yeah. Oh dear, we need a therapist for this. Anyway, but nothing major really happened with them. It was just that he, spoke to both Larissa and his mom, gave his 2 cents, which I don't really think was, I mean, I can't even really remember it, so it really wasn't noteworthy. And to me, Colt, I believe Larissa when she says that Colt said that them living with his mom or his mom living with them was only going to be temporary. But it is clearly something that is not going to change, but he's kind of like denying it now. But I believe Larissa that he definitely gave her that promise. So, whatever. The only thing I will say is these Americans, these guys, I mean, maybe outside of Anfisa, Jorge George, they all pretty much said like, I don't really have money, but I just think these ladies are just like, I'm coming anyway. I'm sorry. I don't think that any of them really said I'm a millionaire and I have lots of money, So, maybe they just didn't want to believe it, but sorry, boo. I mean, that's what you get. So, all right, that's pretty much everything with them. I mean, I think that Debbie deserves her own space, as any adult should, but so does Larissa, So y'all need to work that out, or, get a mother-in-law suite. Get a house with a mother-in-law suite where she can have her own little kitchen, her own entrance, her own whatever, so that it really, puts the houses, the living quarters separate. That's what I think. But, whatever. Moving on from then, Pedro and Chantal. Oh boy. Okay, so where are we with them? I mean, they're just, why are they still on the show? They just want to be on the show, I think. But I really actually believe that Pedro and Chantal, they really love each other. I really do. And I think that he really loves her, But I think that they're definitely playing up the feud between the two of them. I think they're playing that up for the show. I do believe that their families do not like each other. Yup, I believe that. But I think that Pedro and Chantal, I think they really do love each other. I think that, they're playing it up. Because, for example, okay, so what's happening in this episode? Pedro, well, the recap from last episode was basically that Pedro and his friends, he was meeting with his friends, which I really don't like. Or maybe this happened in this episode. I actually am a little confused with how they aired the episode, whatever. Pedro talking to his friends from the DR, like, they were all like, oh, that's not right, that she won't let you just have your time here in DR with your friends and family. Like, she's being disrespectful. She's not, like, respecting you and honoring you or whatever. And then that girl that he danced with, which was totally, that was set up. I believe that TLC was like, hey, Pedro, dance with this chick. Yeah, please. So I think that she was like, oh no, I would stay home. I would not go to where my husband was or whatever. Shut up. First of all, you don't know, and then second of all, I just don't believe you. Please, you don't even know Chantel, so like you really don't even know the relationship. So I just think like, again, played up for the show, but I also think it was very disrespectful what they were saying and talking, about Chantel and then their whole situation, their whole marriage. But hey, I'm equal opportunity. Chantel's family is wrong. They've been wrong, okay? When they went to the private investigator, I think last season of Happily Ever After that they were on, dead wrong, okay? And that's when they came up with their conspiracy theories. Miss Karen talking about, Pedro's mom is running a marriage ring or whatnot. Please, okay? Dead wrong. They've always been wrong, okay? But both sides, so, But, okay, so that was part of it. But then, Pedro involves himself in the conversation, but then he then says, but, she's my wife, so, I'm going to be there for her. So then, it's like two sides of his mouth. Which one is it, Pedro? Pedro goes to the airport to pick up Chantel. He has flowers in his hand. To me, that shows that he, for real, loves her, right? But then he has to, keep this, stoic face on. Again, I feel like, okay, are you playing that up? Because then why do you have flowers? Which one is it? You love her and you bring her flowers? Here, my love. Or are you like, all right, I'm here to pick you up, but I'm like not happy that you're here? Which one? Two messages, you know. Now, again, when he says to her, oh, this was like the best week of my life without you here, was that played up? I hope it was, because if it wasn't, that's really mean. Even if you felt that way, like, why are you saying that? Why are you telling me that? You know? And so are you saying like, oh, this week was even better than the 2 weddings that we had together? Like, really? The time was better than that? Okay. So then what? I mean, you're supporting her or you're not? Which one is it, Pedro? Anyway, so Pedro then talks to Chantal and says to her, by the way, they're not staying at his mom's apartment. They're staying at a hotel or resort or whatever, which I think is a fine, I think that's best to do. You know, when you're not getting along very well, staying in their home, even though y'all pay for it, you know, I think that will only instigate more conflict. So I think that it's more than appropriate for them to stay by themselves. But Pedro then asks Chantal, or says like, all right, we're going to go to my mom's house. Let's go there. Let's, you know, obviously I think he just wants her to have contact with his mom. Let's talk. Let's, you know, put the past behind us, but reconcile in a sense. Because this would be Chantel's first time seeing his mom since she had come to DR. And then, of course, her first time seeing Nicole, his sister, since she came to America, I guess, the year prior when she was on last season of Happily Ever After and they got into that big fight. So Chantal agrees to go. And when they go, like, my question is, like, why was she so dressed up? Like, I felt like she was so dressed up. Like, she was wearing, like, they were going out to a nice fancy restaurant and they were just going to sit on his mom's couch in her 3-bedroom apartment. So I'm not sure what that was about, you know, but anyway, so they get there and they start talking. And by the way, Chantal has a translator there to like help her communicate with his mom to make sure that she understands everything, which I think that was probably a good idea. But at one point, like, the mom starts talking about, you know, what had happened, you know, with the fight. And Chantel's like, no, I don't want to talk about the past. I don't want to rehash the past. Like, you know, so then what are you going to talk about? If you don't talk about the past in order to reconcile what happened, what exactly are you talking about? I'm confused, you know, like, things need to be cleared up. So you have to bring up past events. Anyway, she says that, but then she goes and then continues to talk about the past, right? Okay. So, and like Chantal, like, kind of doesn't smile, but oddly enough, she smiled a whole lot during this conversation, but it wasn't like a regular smile. It was like a Joker smile, like, you know, like she said, like, this is how she kind of started to smile. Oh, no, I wouldn't turn over your table. Because apparently, I guess that's what Pedro did in that fight. Or I wouldn't yell at you and point my finger in your face. Ugh, so weird. Anyway, but the funniest part, oh my gosh, the funniest part was Chantel's line, "Eat me too! Eat me too!" Did you get that? Did you catch that? What happened was, like, first of all, Pedro's mom starts saying, like, oh, I would have beat all y'all up. You, tu mamá, tu papá, tu hermana, like, whatever. Which I'm like, okay, whatever. But then Chantal says, you know, nobody is innocent in this situation. Everybody has faults. Everybody has a part to blame. Everybody did something that they probably shouldn't have done, or said something they probably shouldn't have done. You know, she's like, my family included, me included, you included, Pedro, everybody. You know, nobody's at fault here. Excuse me, everybody's at fault here. Nobody is innocent. Tus hijos no están inocente. Y ni tú. Y ni tú. Like, that's what she said. Started like squeaking, you know, and then Pedro was like, whoa, chill out, like, what's up with that? And then here comes Chantal with her just non-accent, or just straight up American accent, speaking Spanish, talking about, ¿Y qué tú vas a hacer? ¿Y qué tú vas a hacer? Oh, come on, Chantal, come on. ¿Y qué tú vas, Pedro? ¿Y qué tú vas a hacer? You know, roll the R. Can we go over our vowels again? ¿Y qué tú vas a hacer? ¿Y qué tú vas a hacer? If it wasn't for her accent, like, Chantal, I might be like lightweight jealous of your Spanish, you know, but no. Oh gosh. Pero, you know, that was pretty much the end of it. That was pretty much the end of it. You know, you're not innocent. Nobody was innocent. Nothing really came to a head, but then nothing really was solved in their conversation, in my opinion. But, you know, but then Pedro decides, I'm going to leave. I'm going to take my clothes and I'm going to stay with Chantal, which, again, that was the right thing to do. But then I guess he had to, like, make this grand, like, action of leaving and cleaving, leaving his mother's home. You know, and saying, you know, I'm going to stay with my wife and I'm going to stay and support her. Fine. Which, you know, on both sides, I do not think that the family should make the spouses choose the family over the other, you know? So even when Chantal left, like, she was like, adios. It was like that Joker face again. It was really weird. So I don't know. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about Andre y Libby. Okay. Is Andre dumb? Like, is he dumb? Or is he just, like, totally arrogant, totally, like, sorry. It, like, I don't know. Just really prideful, the way that Libby's dad described him. What's up with him? What's up with you, Andre? Because he, like, the segment starts off with him, you know, talking about how he feels stabbed in the back because Libby didn't really get an advance, but went to her dad and got her dad to give her extra money so that they could move out of the free home that they were living in that was provided by her dad. So he's upset about that and feels that Libby stabbed him in the back. First of all, like, this is, I guess my question about, like, Andre, are you dumb, is that the money's coming from her dad. Like, Daddy's the employer. So whether it's an advance or whether he's saying, out of the goodness of my heart, I'm giving you guys money so that you can, like, put the down payment or the security deposit for this apartment that you're moving into as you move out of the free home that I'm giving you. The money's coming from him either way. So you're talking about wanting to be rid of him and be free of him, but, like, you're not doing anything to make that happen. And then you're trying to say that your wife stabbed you in the back. How? So makes no sense to me. So honestly, Andre, like, I would just say, like, please get a job. Stop talking and get a job. Just get a job. Like, that should be the end of it. Okay. So then Libby goes to her sister's home and just meets with one of her sisters and then her sister-in-law, and she's planning to do her baby registry for her baby shower. But then, of course, they get into a conversation about Andre, which, again, with them, it's like, okay, why are you guys on the show? I guess maybe for some supplemental income, because, like, I mean, rumor has it, none of these couples have, like, they're not making bank with 90 Day. Like, it's not Duggar money, you know? Because if they were, then I feel like there wouldn't be that much issue when it comes to money with them. Like Nicole, you know, the issues that she would have with sponsoring Azan or whomever, like, it wouldn't be an issue, right? So, so she goes, and then of course they're talking about Andre. So I feel like with them, yes, maybe for supplemental income, they're on the show, and, you know, maybe she just wants to be on TV. I really feel like she has a fine relationship with her sisters. Not that sisters can't fight, but I feel like all of the conflicts and all the fighting, whatever, I feel like it's played up. So she gets into this, they get into a discussion about Andre, and she's upset about it, which, okay, if this was real life, I mean, fine. She doesn't want to talk about Andre, but then it's like, okay, well, what else are y'all going to talk about? You thought TLC was just going to come to your sister's house to film you picking out stuff for your registry? That doesn't make for good TV. So they're talking about stuff, and her sister asks, what are you going to do when the money runs out? I'm not sure why she asked that question, because the answer is go to daddy. That's the answer. But then she's, you know, then Libby just tries to, like, you know, just deflect and say, like, you know, we just want to figure it out. We just want to figure it out on our own. We just want to figure it out on our own. And then her sister, wise as she is, says, well, then figuring it out on your own means that you won't go to daddy when you run out of money next time. Boom. So, yeah, I agree. But, you know, dad's still also employer. So clearly he's still going to be there supporting her in the end. But what I will say, Libby, you know what? In the end, you good, because daddy will always be there. He will always be in your corner. So you and baby will never starve. Okay. So you're always good. I do believe that her sister's opinion and her dad's opinion of Andre is definitely real. I mean, that's for sure. I don't think that's played up. But yeah. So I'm definitely team dad too, because I feel like the way that he speaks, whether it's to Libby or Andre, when they get kind of like disrespectful or like a little loud with him, he keeps even keel, he keeps calm, and then he always says like what he means to say. Like he says the right things and he's good. So I'm like, all right, dad. So she gets upset with her sisters and then essentially storms out of her sister's home because she doesn't want to talk about their issues anymore. She just wanted to come over to do the registry, and they're so annoying. So then she leaves again. Dramatic scene for television. Then she gets into the car, and her and Andre are going where? I don't know, back to their apartment or someplace else, whatever. So then she starts complaining to Andre about what happened. So then she says, oh my gosh, like they're texting me, you know? So he tells her, don't text. And, you know, she keeps texting them. She's like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to respond to them when they're texting me. I mean, don't act like you can't ignore somebody who's annoying you or whatever. Nobody, like, that's the beauty of texting, right? But whatever, it's still her choice to respond. Then Andre comes out of his face and snatches the phone out of her hand. So she actually looks genuinely shocked. But then she's like, give me my phone. Give me my phone. Don't text. Give me my phone. You know, so like that power struggle goes back and forth a couple times. And it's like watching a power struggle between like, you know, an authority, like a parent and a kid that's like going bonkers, like having a tantrum. You're wondering, it's like, wait, who's going to win? Like, because one of y'all has to just surrender because it's just both of y'all are not surrendering currently. But he's like, but don't text. Don't text. If I give it back to you, don't text. Give me my phone. You know, don't ever take it out of my phone again. Don't ever take it out of my hand again. I mean, then in her interview, Libby says, I know Andre can be possessive, but this is a side that I've never seen of him before. I wouldn't call that possessive. I don't see that as being possessive. I think that that's lightweight violent, you know? And I guess a lot of people were saying that that was really abusive or that's early signs of abuse or whatever. That's not cool to me. But if you guys remember from the beginning of their time on 90 Day, Lizzie said that she really liked his kind of alpha male presence and even down to his stature and, you know, the way that he's even kind of somewhat controlling because that's like how his culture is. She was very much okay with that. So, well, this is kind of what that leads to, right? In a sense. So, you know, but that wouldn't fly with me. So, Andre, you need to stop doing that. All right, so let's go on to Pao y Russ. Ross? She says like Ross. His name is Russ. I think they should be done with the show, to be honest. I think they should be done with the show. I think their story is done. I think we're done. But whatever. So what happened? They're going around still visiting the birthing centers to find out what, you know, what they want, what kind of birth they want to have. And Pao is obviously open to having, you know, working with a midwife and giving birth at a birthing center. Russ continues to show us how small his world is by saying, I don't know anybody from Oklahoma who's ever given birth in a bathtub. What if something goes wrong? I want a doctor, a medical doctor, someone who went to med school, you know? Okay, yes, Russ, I understand you don't know anybody who's done that before, but you also, I don't think ever went to Florida until you moved to Miami. So, you know, your world is small. Okay. But, so, you know, I mean, are you not aware that, that's how women gave birth with midwives and, you know, from back in the day, like, having an obstetrician is, you know, more of modern times, you know, and I understand, you know, being concerned about complications and stuff. Yeah, sure. You know, but understand that this is not surgery that would require a medical doctor to do a kind of procedure. Birthing is a natural process, a natural body process, you know, that can go very wrong and can, you know, end unfortunately in death. But when it goes fine, when it goes well, you actually don't need a doctor. You can just have, just have a midwife. I'm in no way even trying to say that midwives are like nothing. No, I think midwifery, oh, I love it. Call the Midwife, I love that show too. So, I think it's a great option, but obviously these birthing centers have contingency plans. Usually they have a partnership with a hospital that's like right nearby. So, if things go wrong, you will be then transferred to, to the hospital and working with a doctor and potentially a surgical team if that's what needs to happen, if a C-section needs to happen. Anyway, why am I saying all this? Obviously, they must have said this to Ross. I guess the one thing that was sweet with them was that Pao wrote a letter to the baby that was miscarried and Russ read it. So they kind of had that really sweet moment between them. So I thought that was cute. Moving on to Jay and Ashley. Okay, so Jay's sister and his new baby niece and his brother have come to visit Jay and Ashley for the holidays. So they're excited. It's definitely his brother's first time, I guess, coming to the U.S. Not sure about his sister, but they're excited to be there, although it is very cold. His sister says she's never experienced cold like this before. I thought it was really cute. She's like straight up Jamaican. She was like, what did she say? How you fat? Or, how you fat? How you so fat? Right? It wasn't body shaming. All she means is, you filled out a little bit. So, because clearly he's slender and, to me, not much different from what he was, but clearly she knows him better. So Ashley is kind of excited and looking forward to them coming to visit, especially even seeing the baby. So back up. So Ashley has agreed to continue her relationship with Jay, although she still has not agreed to change his status, I guess, for him to then move forward to get the green card. And she's saying that she's hoping that his sister can talk sense into him. So, okay. When it comes to these shows, like I have like my real self and then like my entertainment self. My real self, Ashley, you went into this marriage eyes wide open. So I feel like I don't understand why Jay is continuously, why Ashley has continuously kind of expected Jay to act like he's older than he is, I understand he's 20. He's certainly a legal adult here in America, but, he's a child and he's a new 20. So he was just a teenager. And clearly they were together while he was still a teenager. So Ashley being in her 30s, grown woman with children, has a job, career, whatever, has her own home, you are established and you want this man to act in such a way like he is more than what he is. I think that too much is expected of him. Not that bad behavior should ever be expected of anybody or accepted, but it's just shouldn't be surprising that he has acted the way that he has acted. And yes, everybody makes, this is real self-answering, everybody does recite their vows no matter what age they are, and they should be held to them. But to me, eyes wide open, I think that Jay showed enough signs prior to, their marriage that probably wasn't a good idea and should have never happened. And also, anytime that they talk about Jay has changed his ways, whether it's his sister mentioning it or Jay himself talking about it, how he's given up his womanizing ways or whatever, I'm again disturbed by this, because I'm what? When was this life that Jay lived? At what point, when was he living this life? You mean that when he was a teenager? This was not Jay living as a grown adult in his 20s and 30s and, womanizing and being with this woman and that woman, whatever. It's you're talking about, what you're saying is that this person was a teenager going around and having, just being a very sexually active teenager. So, that is a completely different thing. Let's call it what it is, okay? So, but Jay's sister is really nice. She, I think is probably a good person for Ashley to talk to in a sense, because she's not blind to Jay's ways. And she's caring, and she definitely seems like she cares about Ashley and cares about their relationship. But, she definitely admits that, she didn't know the details of all the things that Jay has done since being in America. So Ashley is just letting her know everything, which I think that's fine, you know, but I don't think you can expect much of his sister. What is she going to do? She can't force him to do anything. You know, even if she says, Jay, stop doing that. Be a better guy. I really love Ashley. I want you to be with her. I want you to whatever. Like, even if he really respects her in the end, she can't force him. He's going to have to make the decision. Like, I also wouldn't want someone to, like, have better behavior because somebody told them to. I would want them to treat me lovingly because they actually love me and because they want to and because it's the right thing. You know, anyway, but, so anyway, I think that's it with them. Okay, so now Nicole and Azan. Okay, so what's going on here? We're basically dealing with the fallout of Azan canceling the trip to Grenada, which really is just one-sided. I mean, Nicole could have gone, but she chose not to. Yeah, so they're not going to Grenada anymore. We meet Nicole working out and exercising. She said she wants to get in better shape. Great. So she's kind of doing just kind of some... and she has purple hair now. Very purple. Purple. Not sure. I think Azan and his family probably will miss your very American blonde hair. Okay. But, so her plan now is to just take that money that would have been spent on the trip to Grenada and just head back to Morocco, you know? And now she's going to go and get married in Morocco. So then Nicole says that she's been just basically being a nomad, going back and forth between families' homes because she doesn't want to be a full burden on anybody. So she doesn't stay one place, forever, you know, which I get that. But then I'm like, that's probably not great for May. You know, she probably needs more stability with that, especially since she also has this, like, oh, she also might be in Morocco too. So, you know, I don't know why she just doesn't stay at her mom's house, you know. But Nicole's stepdad then is talking about this Moroccan, he calls him the Moroccan, who sent him an email and said that this person apparently claims to know Azan and says that Azan is up to no good and that he doesn't really love Nicole or is not in the relationship for the right reasons and something, whatever. So he's trying to use this as evidence as to, like, Nicole should think that, you know, she should end the relationship with Azan, or that she shouldn't think that this is going to happen, the wedding, you know, or that their marriage should happen. You know, Nicole doesn't want to hear any of it. She walks away. She's like, I don't know who this person is and you shouldn't trust him. And, you know, to me, I don't think it really matters either way. I don't think I don't think anybody should need this person, you know, writing this email. This person does not need to be real for me to see that this is a whole mess, okay? But I feel like Nicole would cross the Sahara and get married to Azan. So even though, like, a lot of people are like, oh, they're never gonna get married, like, it's never gonna work out, it's never gonna whatever, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Azan would have to end it. Azan would have to just say no, like, this is over. Nicole, I want nothing to do with you. I believe she'd swim the Atlantic, you know, truly, if she's able to, you know, to get married. I think Nicole would sacrifice a real wedding. I think she would sacrifice having any family members there, whether it would be here in America, which clearly that's not gonna happen, but definitely, like, if she can get married in Morocco, like, I think she would do it. I think she'd do it without a big wedding. She'd do it without, you know, all the fancy dresses or whatever. I think she would do it. Because she is totally invested and she wants it. She wants to be married. She wants Azan and she wants to be married. But part of it too is that I think she probably wants to save face too. I mean, look how long that they've been in this kind of tumultuous relationship, which, you know, I just wish that people really would feel like that they always have a choice. Like, even though, yes, you have invested lots of time and energy and you don't want to just flush it down the toilet, but it's like, but when your relationship is toilet water quality, you might as well flush, you know, and then be done with it. But when people say, oh, I'll do anything for love, you know, even something stupid, you know, I think that's stupid. I think stupid things that are done for love are stupid things, you know, so don't do that. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, clearly Nicole does, when Nicole wants to get over to Morocco, she gets over there. So I guess we'll have to see what happens. All right. Thanks for watching. But so if you like the video, please like and subscribe if you like as well. But definitely comment below. What do you guys think? You know, do you think that Pedro and Chantal, you know, do you think that they really love each other? Do you think that, what do you think of her? Y me too, you know? Comment below, leave what you think, and because I'd like to chat and see what perspectives you guys have. All right, thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Adios.